So next up, we have Randy. We have Randy out of Wisconsin. Randy, why don't you introduce yourself? Tell us a little about it. Tell us about your excitement in your district.
Yeah, sounds great. Well, again, my name is Randi Anne McVinnie. I'm a first vice district governor elect for MD 27E2. So I'm located in northwestern Wisconsin. I've only been a Lion about 5 years, so I still have a lot to learn. But I wanted to dive in really, really big and make a big splash. Over the last couple of months, um, there's a lot of things that happened in my club, my home club that I started in. I've always had heard from everybody, all these horror stories of, oh, this club wasn't welcoming, or this member said something rude to this person, or, we can't get out of our old ways of doing things. And I just sat back and I just said, there's got to be a better way to do this. There's got to be a better way to do this. As a business owner, I think you're forced to learn how to solve problems. And I think you're really, really good at coming up with resources and solutions for those problems. And so once I started looking at Lions Club like it was a business and running it like I do our businesses that are successful, it became a lot easier to grow it and to be able to inspire others to be part of it as well. Jody, because I am in my car, my daughter's at cheer practice, would you be able to do my slides for me? Thank you. So when I go out to talk to new people about being a lion, um, or inviting them to a meeting or whatever it may be, I get three questions. The three questions are: when do you meet? Where do you meet? And how long are your meetings? I learned something really quickly that if I only got somebody to say, kind of to get the buy-in on one of those items or two of those items, it was never going to work, right? This is like a long-term relationship or a marriage, let's say. I needed somebody to say yes to all three things. In our traditional model of clubs, it was really hard to find people with busy lives and young families that could say yes to all three. They're busy with kids' sports, they're busy with other commitments they have, other service organizations, church, running kids around, whatever that may be. And time is of the essence. I know it's something we talk about often is when COVID happened, the world shut down, we all had this free time back, and we all swore that we would never go back to these crazy busy lives that we had before it. I don't know about you guys, but I feel busier than ever. Much, much busier. My calendar definitely can prove that. So I had to come up with a solution to solve these three problems. So I sat back and I thought about what makes the perfect club. So what were the barriers? What were the barriers? What was the reason people were saying no to me? So one thing was flexibility. The people that I was talking to about becoming a lion wanted to have the ability to come when it worked for them and have an alternative option when it didn't work for them. They wanted to be accommodable. They wanted to make sure they didn't necessarily have to get a babysitter or call grandma or send the kids to the neighbors, and be able to have something that was family friendly and approachable. And the last part was that they wanted something that was transformable. So they wanted something that was going to grow with them as they grew personally and professionally. So it was something, those were the three things that I took, kept in mind as we were building the new club model and what needed to happen. And everything that we did, if it didn't check all three of those boxes, it was something we didn't do in the new club model. So as we got to thinking about this and thinking about how we're doing other things, whether it's the Burmeister bar or it's all the things that happened during COVID when us Lions got really, really creative about how to stay together and how to still move the needle forward with doing great work in our communities, I looked at what does a hybrid club really have to offer families or people like me. So going back to those questions, so when did they meet? Well, we meet one time a month. We meet for 1 hour, and we know exactly what we're meeting about. um, we have a hybrid option. So if it's a busy night or something changes at work or in your home life, you can hop on Zoom. No pressure to come to the meeting in person. And they're only 1 hour. We're very respectful of starting on time and we're very respectful of ending on time. We understand that everyone has busy lives and has things outside of Lions as well. And setting that clear expectation and holding to that has built trust not only in the club, but outside of it as well. And going back to running the business like a business. For those of you that are business owners and Lions, this is going to be things you've heard before. They're old adages of sayings in business ownership. So I don't know about you guys, but I've been in plenty of meetings over the years, both for professional purposes and personal ones, that could have been an email, right? How often do we sit there for an hour, we listen to somebody talk, and we're like, oh, that could have been an email. I had a million things to do outside of sitting in this meeting. So we knew that we wanted to be super intentful in everything that we did. We also know that we in a business have strategic planning. And it's going back to what Denise said, we don't know where we're going to go if we don't know where we've been, and making sure we have a plan of how to get there. It's setting those clear expectations, and it's creating with your new club core values. So we talked about the Lions mission statement, but we created our own affirmation statement in our club with our leadership, and we say it at the beginning of every meeting. We all say it out loud, and we do that as just a form of us coming together and remembering why we're here. And I miss almost rejuvenating kind of our purpose of what we're all there for that evening. And then hire slow, fire fast. It's something we talk about in the business world all the time, but it's making sure when we bring new lions in that it's a good fit for them. Asking the right questions, making sure that they understand what's going to be expected of them. They understand what they're signing up for. I'm gonna be honest with you. When I signed up for Lions Club, all I knew is that our club did a golf outing and we drank at our meetings at the local tavern, the watering hole. That is all I knew about what my club did in the community. As I got into the club, I learned 100 other things, right? We know that lions are the best kept secrets, but let's work on making that not the case. But again, the hire slow fire fast mentality is just doing the work on the front end so you don't have to do the work on the back end to retain them or beg them to stay or have the loss of members. The next thing is aces in their places. So something that I used that was awesome when I went out to grow our club, and I knew we had to get 20 members really, really quickly to get this done. I went out because I had a lot of relationships in our business community, and I started just going door to door to small businesses that I knew had the same pain points I did with employees. They had employees that didn't feel motivated. They didn't feel that they were recognized for the things that they were doing in their jobs, and they wanted to be heard. So I looked at those three things and I went into local businesses. And if there's one thing you guys write down or take away from my entire presentation today, this is it. So I walked in to any business. It doesn't matter what industry it's in, it doesn't matter who it is. I got the business owner or the manager and I asked for them, usually got somebody pretty quickly. They weren't always mostly thrilled to see me there because they thought I was going to sell them something. But I went up to them and I said, "Hey, my name's Randy. I'm with our local Lions Club. Do you know what we do?" Sometimes people would have an answer. They'd say, "Oh, you guys do the parade in town, or you guys do the cookout, or you guys do the fishing contest." But I was like, "Yep, we do all those things." But what I love most about Lions is that we create great employees in the workplace and even better humans outside of it. Do you have any employees that come to mind that would love to be part of something like this? Every single business I went to, they either grabbed an employee, they got out their phone, they started giving me names and numbers, and just I would get 2 to 3 from every business. They loved it. They're like, "Oh my gosh, I have 3 employees I'm trying to groom that could use some leadership skills, but they don't have time to do it during the workday. We have a couple employees that want to be a manager one day, but they're not quite ready and could use some strategic planning skills." And I'm like, "Hey, Lions Club can offer you that for free, no expense to you to the business owner, and we can create great humans in our communities. Does that sound like you want to be a part of?" Absolutely. And I had over 50 members in about 2.5 weeks, just going door knocking at cold businesses, asking that one question. So if you guys are getting the answers that you want, you're asking the question wrong. And so, like I said, if that's the one thing that you guys take away from today, that is it. And I will put that all in the chat, and I will make sure Jody shares that with you guys as well. But this approach is a bold forward step in Lionism. It's very different than we've looked at it in the past. I think not only Lions, but Rotary, all the other clubs that are out there, Optimus, they were there for fraternal purposes and brotherhood. And I think that's still a big part of Lionism. But I think this new generation of Lions and people my age that are working, that are balancing kids, busy families, two income households, juggling life, they want to know what they're signing up for. And we need to be clear about that. So, like I said, we formed our club with over 40 members in 131 days. And trust me, I didn't do this alone. It took work from the top and it took work from people underneath me as well. I took work from having great guiding lions, tapping into people that I've met at forum, tapping into people that have seen out in the district, I've seen at a cog meeting that really impressed me, and picking up the phone and calling them and say, I need your help. Here's my plan. Can you help me? And not one person said no. Everyone wanted to help any way they could. So I used collaboration. I learned from those that knew way more than I did. Like I said, I've only been a lion a couple years, and I know I have a whole lot more to learn. And I tapped into the people that knew a lot more than I did, and it helped me lay the foundation for a club that could build trust quickly with employers in the area, and also new members were attracted to. And I want to tell you guys, it can be done. We've done it here in Wisconsin. We're a very small city. The city that our club is in, Altoona, Wisconsin, it's 2,000 people. And we got over 50 members in 131 days. It's all about how you approach it. So I just want to close with, when passionate people unite behind a shared purpose, incredible things can happen. So thank you guys for letting me share today. And I'm excited to be in a breakout session to answer any further questions you guys may have.
Randy, that was awesome. A comment from the crowd, love it. These two speakers are spot on, and you are. I love your efficiency. I love the approach that you've done to be able to do this. Your efficiency is great, being able to rejuvenate. It's awesome. And it's just another approach that we need to be able to get this done. And it's, tell me, Randy, it's not about the numbers, is it? I love what you said that you got to hire slow and fire fast. It's about the member, isn't it? It is. It's not always about the number. That's awesome.